Hello there. I am so happy to be back with you guys. There's been a lot of change going on, so that's what we're gonna talk about today. It's like change just latches onto me wherever I go. But the older I get, the more I realize the more change, the better. Which is why today's topic is thriving in change and my personal tips for continuous growth. I have made a video in the past, back last yesteryear, about change, navigating work environments, living, blah, blah, blah. It's really good. You can go check it out. But the reason I want to talk about it today is because change is so inevitable. It happens continuously in every single person's life. And frankly, it's a topic I enjoy discussing simply because there's so many different types of change out there, depending on whatever phase of life you're in, it can alter severely. So personally, the last month and a half, really almost 2 months now, has been absolutely wild. I mean, my life changed really overnight. I started a new job, go me. I love it. I'm working remote for now, and I'm going back to recruiting, which is where I came from before I moved down to Florida. However, the company I'm working for, I've never been more excited. But a new job, that's scary, especially when you're really excited about where you want to go. So frankly, I need this conversation with myself just to kind of restructure my train of thought as I go through this exciting season. And it is exciting. So no negative talk. We can vent, we can recognize when we're feeling negative emotions, but positive self-talk only here, and I hope my tips help in any way. Feel free to share it with anyone you'd like, or share your own tips in the comment section. I talked about this in my prior video, but when I was really struggling at my last job, just feeling unmotivated, change I felt as though was creeping up into my life in a very slow way, taught me a lot of patience. I had a hard time when my mind and my body didn't seem to be matching up, and you'll see where I'm going with this. First of all, embracing change is step one. But in the meantime as well, accept the fact that change happens in different buckets at different times. I feel like in general, when change is slowly creeping up on you, where it's just months of unanswered questions, your mind, or at least mine, changes first, and then my body catches up later. So if you start overthinking everything, your life, your livelihood, simply everything, slow down for a minute. If change is coming and you feel that, check your mental state first. But as we know, change can't happen successfully if we don't have a plan and strategy. So I'm gonna give you my little framework that I use to check myself when I'm feeling overwhelmed and navigating change. Using this framework has allowed me to continuously grow despite whatever change is happening in my life. But my first tip, sit down, grab something to write with, or make a mental note. You have to tap back into the proof that proves you wrong in your situation. If you're doubting yourself, you don't know what's coming ahead, you don't know what you don't know, think back to a time when you experienced similar change or similar feelings that came with that change. Here, I would ask yourself a couple questions. Thinking back to that time, how did you feel before, during, and after that change came to fruition? What do you know now that you wish you would have known then? Have I changed since that happened in my life? Are my priorities and my central values different to what they were back then? Based off this information, how can I pivot my time and energy even slightly to navigate my personal challenges during this change? Great. So you've self-analyzed a little bit. I'm proud of you. This is something that I do all the time. Because here's the thing, a lot of times we're so concerned with what's going on around us that we forget our souls are actually evolving as well. They're learning from past mistakes. Building proof against yourself when you're feeling doubtful so you can say, no, I've done that before. And over time, if you continue to just realize this and keep track of it a bit, self-check every once in a while, you'll become much more in tune and in the habit of realizing that how you react to change is really all that you can control. So my last token of advice is feedback. This entire exercise, if you've followed along or written down the questions for later, is a means of giving yourself constructive criticism. Feedback and constructive criticism are never a bad thing. In fact, you should be exceedingly open to it. There is nowhere that you can go without getting feedback from yourself or other people around you so that you can grow into the person that you're becoming and want to be in the future. It takes a lot to open up. It takes a really strong person to stand in the mirror and say, you need to change. I remember there was a time just last year when I was moving. As you guys know from my prior videos, I was trying to think through a lot. And I actually got to a point where I felt like my ambitions were far beyond who I was as a woman. And if I wanted to get there, I had to change significantly. I mean, mentally, the way I communicate, the way I handle my relationships every single day. But I didn't know how. And it was scary. I was like, being the spiritual person I am, God, how do I do this? How do I continue to be better in those aspects? What does it even look like? Truth of the matter is, recognizing it has trained my mind to start forward thinking into who I want to be and how to get there. Thank you so much for listening. I love talking to you guys and putting out content that I feel really is helping me. It's a little bit of a form of self-therapy, filming these videos, but I find a lot of joy in sharing them with you guys. So if you're watching, thank you so much. I'll talk to y'all later and have a great evening. Bye.